Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER One News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER One News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER One News. I'm Alan Troop reporting news from around the Columbia Basin for Wednesday, August 21st. Tonight, we report on how Live Nation is planning on improving services at the Gorge and how the Quincy Council continues fire service negotiations despite a committee's recommendation. And in sports, we look at how the Moses Lake All-Stars team did in the Babe Ruth World Series. Our spotlight story tonight is about artists joining forces on a new project in Soap Lake. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER One Weather Center. Our top story tonight, the owners of the Gorge Amphitheater plan to improve the medical staffing at the concert venue. Danny Wild, representing Live Nation, met with the Grant County Commissioners and representatives of Grant County Fire District 3 and Quincy Valley Medical Center yesterday. The meeting followed complaints made by the hospital and the fire district that some of the concerts stretched their resources too thin to effectively serve their populations. The concerns were raised following the Paradiso Festival, which saw 72 people transported to the hospital. Live Nation is considering changes following the concert season, including possibly extending the hours they have American Medical Response ambulances available, expanding the medical staff at the Gorge, and improving the medical facility.
It's not that we're not trying to improve, it's not that we're trying to be irresponsible. I would say that we are one of the most responsible companies of its type anywhere. We fully engage in the annual emergency planning that goes on in here under the direction of the Grant County Emergency Planning Department. We work with the sheriffs really closely. We have weekly reviews of upcoming events. The security company we work with, CMS, we can have upwards of 400 security staff at an event. We take this stuff seriously.
Wild said the company was unprepared for what happened at this year's Paradiso Festival, since this is the second year the festival has been at the Gorge.
We can look at Paradiso 2012, and it doesn't compare to Paradiso 2013. So, what we have to go on is historical data. We're running a business. We're not, we're always trying to stay ahead of it. But so Paradiso 2013 taught us a little more about that.
A Quincy committee negotiating with Grant County Fire District 3 reversed its position and is going back to negotiating. Councilmember Tom Harris read a statement to a standing room only crowd in Quincy's council chamber last night.
He resumed negotiations with the fire district, and that the first order of business be the negotiation of a 1-year extension through December 31st, 2014. And it is our understanding that the fire district supports this recommendation.
The announcement followed a letter from Mayor Jim Hembry stating the committee was recommending ending the city's contract with the fire district and starting a city fire department. The recommendation was made prior to discussing a report from Emergency Services Consulting International with district officials. Hembry told the crowd the letter was only a recommendation, and any decision to start a fire department would be at a council meeting in front of the public.
This was only a recommendation from the negotiation committee, not a declaration from the city council. The council can only make such a decision in an open public meeting, and that's why this is on the agenda tonight. And another thing I want to make clear, just from my own personal standpoint, so people understand, I'm the one that signed that communications as the mayor. As a citizen, I support continuing the contract, as long as it's at a price that's fair to the citizens of the city of Quincy.
The majority of the crowd was in favor of continuing the negotiations with David Talley, questioning why the committee would make a decision which seemed to contradict the consultant's report.
I'm not sure if anyone on this committee would feel that they have more expertise than the committee they hired to do that. If they did, I'd wonder why they spent the $33,000 in the first place. But they spent that, and the recommendations, the last or the lowest level of recommendation was to go out and start your own fire department at a cost of over $1 million startup. The fire equipment that you do have, by the way, is pretty outdated, and I think it's 2 old engines and 1 ladder truck with no fire station, just for clarification, and nothing to house the fire, the ladder truck. And so I do, as a taxpayer, you are charged with spending my and all the other taxpayers' money, and I do, like I've heard you say, want to be sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck.
2 people disagreed with the service provided by the district. Amy Lynn Scott told the council she didn't receive any response from the fire district when she called for her emergency.
I've had 3 medical 911 calls. One of them, my 9-month-old with a depressed skull fracture. Not once did Fire District 3 show up. And my husband at that time was a Fire District member. Nobody showed up.
The council agreed with the committee's recommendation and unanimously agreed to continue with negotiations. A Moses Lake man was surprised when he pulled up to a shop building at a farm in the 14,000 block of Road 1 Northeast. A gray Mazda pickup with 2 Hispanic men was pulling away from the building with items from the farm in the back. The man told the Grant County Sheriff's Office that he didn't recognize the truck or the men and followed them. He said that a suspect in the bed of the pickup began throwing items out of the truck, which included tractor wheels and a pressure washer. While he was following the pickup, the man told deputies that the suspect in the back of the pickup appeared to aim a pistol at him. He backed away, and the pickup turned into a large farm in the 18,000 block of Road 5.5 Northeast. Deputies arrived and surrounded the farm, which has about a square mile of cornfields. A search was conducted and the pickup was found, but it was empty of materials or suspects. Officers tracked the suspects through the muddy cornfields for about 2 hours before losing the tracks. A deputy was evaluated at Samaritan Hospital for small cuts and a chemical burn after following the suspect's tracks. Deputies did not locate the suspects, but did impound the truck for evidence. Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. And we will be back after these messages with the latest from our iFIBER 1 Weather Center, sports, and more news.